Greetings and welcome to this episode of Rhino's School of Rock. Today we are going to be learning about one of the most fundamental technologies that we employ when we're doing an examination on light performance in diamonds. It is one of 3 analog optical examinations that we perform when we're looking at any given diamond that we're going to be taking into our inventory. And this technology that we're going to be exploring today is what we would generally refer to as red reflector technology, okay, which encompasses 3 tools. One that has gained a lot of popularity on the internet and is called an ideal scope. Okay, it's this little tool here with has like a little pink cap on it. On top is a glass magnifier. We're using the expensive ideal scope. They sell a few different versions of the ideal scope, which you can get at idealscope.com. Okay, we're going to be talking about the Fire Scope. Fire Scope is a desktop model. The original invention was created back in 1985 and patented, which the patent has run out on it. We happen to be one of the only stores in the country that possess an original Fire Scope. They're not readily available, and very few gemologists have an actual Fire Scope. And then we're also going to be discussing to an extent our own little creation. After using the Fire Scope for a year, we invented something to show us the details that we see through these tools a little more effectively, and is the technology in photography we feature on our website called X-ray. Okay, so 3 primary red reflectors on the market: ideal scope, Fire Scope, and X-ray. All right, now the usage of these tools is really very simple and very basic, and it's common to all of them. The idea is to take the diamond in question, hold it at the bottom of the red reflector, and looking through the crown of the diamond, we're going to reflect the pink plus the shadow of our eye into the crown of the diamond. Pink plus the shadow of our eye going in should be pink and the shadow of our eye coming out, or pink and black in should be pink and black out, as long as the facets on the bottom of the diamond are properly reflecting back to the viewer what's going into it. Okay, sounds simple, and yes, it is very simple. We're literally looking at the physics of light as it travels in a diamond and out of a diamond. Okay, when we're giving a presentation to our clients in the store, we will generally describe this as the examination of mirrors and windows. All right, now the facets on the pavilion of a diamond are going to function in one of 2 different roles. They're either going to function as mirrors or reflectors of light, or windows, which allow light to escape through the bottom. Okay, shine a flashlight in a mirror, light in is light out. Shine a flashlight in a window, light passes through the window. So this examination under these red reflectors, I solely think of it as an examination of how the pavilion facets are functioning. Not necessarily the crown facets, but the pavilion facets, okay? So those pavilion facets are either going to function as mirrors or windows, reflectors of light or leakers of light, okay? So when we put a diamond like this under the ideal scope, pink and black going in should be pink and black coming out. It's pretty easy to understand once you get a hold of it, all right? The ideal scope, just a few words on the ideal scope. The ideal scope is a great, handy little tool. It's fantastic because it's portable. You could bring it anywhere with you. If you get the glass lensed version, they sell them in both glass and plastic. The glass, absolutely, you know, it's a pretty good quality magnifier and allows you to pretty easily see what it is you're looking at. The limitations of this handheld version is, as you bring this thing from, you know, if you're shopping with it and using it in jewelry stores, if you bring it from jewelry store to jewelry store, lighting changes in jewelry store. As a matter of fact, even in the same environment, if I look at a diamond at this angle here and I'm aiming the back of the diamond towards the illumination of my front windows, I get one view. When I just move the diamond over where the lighting is different in the store, I can get a different view. So your views aren't going to always be consistent from store to store as you even may be looking at the same diamond, all right? But you know, just like anything else, practice makes perfect. You look at enough diamonds with this and eventually, you know, you'll get the hang of it. And it's why we really turn to desktop models like the Fire Scope and even more particular our Diam X-ray technology, because it uses a consistent source of backlit illumination. Okay, here's a little more detail on the Fire Scope. You see that you know, we could use batteries or electricity. You have a nice consistent cool white light source here that is going to be behind the diamonds. Okay, here is your lens, which is a 10x magnifier with adjustable focus on the optics, high quality 10 power lens. When we screw this off, we have underneath a pink reflector, okay, and underneath the hood that it screws into is more pink reflector. So when we're doing the examination under the Fire Scope, the diamond in question is being passed underneath this reflector, and we're going to be using this now in this particular presentation. Although the photography that you're going to see on the screen is going to be photography under our Diam X-ray technology. Okay. Now, the first part of this visual tutorial on red reflectors is going to be pointing out one of the strengths of this technology, and the strength of it being that of being able to see very clearly how much light leakage exists in a diamond, because how much light that leaks out of the diamond is going to impact its visual performance. All right, and so step number one here, the positive aspects of red reflectors, and of course I'm biased towards my own creation, Diam X-ray, but it's going to show us very critically light leakage within the diamond and how it's going to impact the visual performance of a diamond. Now, just before we start looking critically at diamonds, I want to familiarize you with something that we personally handpick for our own inventory. This is a diamond that qualifies, that is GIA excellent. It also has AGS ideal light performance. Its light performance falls in a category that is amongst the rarest in the world. In fact, when you couple its precision with its light performance, constitute less than 1% of diamonds cut in the world. All right, the diamonds that constitute our signature Hearts and Arrows inventory, and this is what the Diam X-ray image looks like of one of our signature diamonds. As a matter of fact, here's a video first of it under the Fire Scope, the same tool I'm using. Okay, and now here is a photograph under our Diam X-ray technology. Okay, so this diamond here, you'll notice solid reds and blacks, indicating that all the facets on the bottom of the diamond are effectively reflecting back out all the red and black that's going into it, and that's good, because when we're going to drop the bucks on a diamond, we want to make sure all the facets on the pavilion are functioning like mirrors. Okay, so this right here is an optical signature that, okay, that is beautiful. Now, the next diamond we're pulling onto the screen is another GIA excellent in the cut quality. All right, and as you notice, the difference between this image and the one you just saw, in fact, there they are both on the screen for you to see, you're going to notice two primary differences. One is this one has a more chaotic optical design, while the other one was more symmetrical. That has to do with issues of craftsmanship, though, not light performance. But you'll also notice whites underneath the table now, okay? And all those areas of white are places where we can see through the facets back to the white behind the diamond, because all those areas there that you see that are white are areas that are leaking light. Okay, so when light is leaking, it's not being returned to the eye, and it's going to impact the optics. Now, a similarity between these two diamonds. Notice that it does have little bits of white around the perimeter. Those little bits of white around the perimeter is where small bits of leakage is happening, but that is not extraneous light leakage. In other words, it's so tiny that you're really not going to discern it with human vision. All right. The primary difference, though, is that leakage that's occurring in the most sensitive part of the diamond, and that's right under the table facet. All right. Now, we're going to stop right here, actually, and I'm going to disappear from your screen for a second. I want to show you a visual comparison between these two GIA Excellent cut grade diamonds. Okay, and here on the screen, you're seeing in diffused lighting the visual differences between two GIA Excellents. One of them is a diamond that would constitute our own signature in our inventory, a signature good old hearts and arrows diamond alongside of another GIA Excellent. And if you're wondering if there's a difference in value between the two, you better believe there is. Okay? In fact, if you go search on websites today and look at GIA Excellence in the same carat weight, clarity, and color, you'll see differences of thousands of dollars. All right, so you are learning right now one of the factors that constitute this difference in value, which is what makes this video a very important one, okay? Diffused lighting, and particularly the lighting setup that we have arranged for this video, most effectively shows the visual differences that one is going to observe in cut qualities, okay? When we're primarily looking at the optical characteristics of brightness and contrast in diffused lighting. And it's the most popular optical characteristic people will see in their diamonds on a daily basis. So we place a heavy emphasis. Before we cut out to the next comparison though, we're going to look at them in spotlighting and show you the differences in fire and sparkle and let you see that also. Okay, so take a look at that, look at the differences, and now we're going to move on to the next one. Okay, but we're always going to use as a standard of reference our signature diamond because its optics are the rarest. Okay, now this next diamond that we're pulling onto underneath the reflector, you're going to notice this one also has a chaotic optical pattern, and the leakage in this one is even more extraneous. All right, and this is a diamond that now goes out of the GIA Excellent category and into the GIA Very Good as far as cut grade is concerned. And here on the screen, just for your own reference, we're going to put the images of our signature stone. Let's just look at all three of them. We'll put all three of them up there on the screen for you. Okay, now I'm going to kind of phase out again and show you the visual comparison between these three. Okay, and look at the difference now in your diffuse lighting between our signature diamond, the other GIA Excellent, and now this GIA Very Good. This one has more leakage. By the way, obviously GIA is not critically examining leakage, otherwise that one that got the Excellent wouldn't get Excellent. But this is our own personal grading of the optics of these diamonds utilizing this technology and demonstrating a great strength of this technology in examining light leakage. Okay, so there's your visual differences between the three of them. I got all three of them up on the screen there. And now before we cut out, and you've seen that, now let's cut out to spotlighting and let you just look at the comparison now between the three diamonds in spotlighting. When we take the diamonds away from diffuse lighting and look at them in spotlighting, we're looking at a completely different optical characteristic. We're looking at fire and sparkle scintillation. Okay. Whereas in the diffused lighting, we were looking at brightness and contrast or patterned scintillation. Okay. All right. Okay, and now for the last diamond as we head down the scale. This diamond now is a GIA Good on the cut scale. And something that you're going to notice in this diamond, you see your blatant areas of white under the table, your light leakage under the table, just like those other two diamonds, but now this has additional light leakage, and you can see those areas of white now around the perimeter are pretty pronounced as well. Okay, so all that light leakage that's happening around the perimeter of the diamond is also going to impact its optical properties as well. So now I'm not going to be able to fit all 4 diamonds on the screen at the same time. I can put 3, but before, so what we'll do is we'll put, I'm going to shrink away again, or phase away. Here is the 3 that we just got done looking at in diffuse lighting. Okay, now we're going to slide this other one onto the screen and look at the degradation in optics. Okay, as we go from the best to the worst. Okay, so as light leakage increases in the diamond and all those extraneous areas of light leakage, the more the optics are going to be degraded. And of course, this is a value detractor with us, all right? And this diamond also just really suffers a decrease in fire and sparkle as well. Okay, so here's the, now that you've seen it in the diffuse lighting, okay, here is the spot lighting, okay? Okay. All right, so this wraps up this portion of the video demonstrating the strengths of red reflector technologies, okay? Ideal scope, if you get your hands on one, it's a good tool to have if you're not doing business with somebody who provides that imagery. Fire scope, even better. The desktop model provides that consistent light source. You're going to see the same from diamond after diamond. And then of course our Diam X-ray technology is just, that's the pinnacle of red reflector technology, a true second generation piece of equipment that really shows us critically the differences in light return versus light leakage. All right, so thank you for joining me on this portion of the video. Now we're going to enter into the next part of this video, and that is the limitations of these technologies, because this is, we're learning some good stuff, but this is not an end-all be-all technology. Okay, in this next portion of our program on red reflectors, we're now going to demonstrate some examples of why this technology, while it's a great idea to have the information provided by this tool, it's not an end-all be-all solution. So we're going to demonstrate some examples why. All right, and the first diamond that we're going to look at here is a diamond that we have in our inventory. And you'll see, as you look at the Diam X-ray results on this, you see a pretty solid red and black image. Hey, its optical design is different from, you know, our signature diamonds, but you'll notice it's all red and black, okay, except for those little tiny white bits of light leakage around the edges. But again, those are so small it's not discernible. But the fact of the matter is all the facets on the bottom of the diamond here are effectively functioning like mirrors or reflectors of light. Now, something that we're going to be covering in the next tutorial on Aset is that while the facets on the pavilion on the bottom of the diamond can effectively be functioning as mirrors, the mirrors are only going to be as bright as the crown facets are drawing in light from the brightest resources in the environment. Because, you know, if you have too much darkness going in the diamond, too much darkness in is too much darkness out. So as you look at the visual comparison now of this diamond alongside of one of our signature diamonds, okay, as I phase away, you're going to see a visual difference between these two. And this is enough of a visual difference that caused this diamond to not get the GIA Excellent Cut Grade. Now, even though GIA does not utilize this technology in their examination, when they showed this kind of a diamond with these proportions next to something that you're looking at here, 99% of the people looked at it and said, yeah, that one's not, I don't prefer that one to this one. Okay, AGS gave this particular diamond a hit in brightness and contrast. So that's why I'm primarily right now showing you the visual differences between these two diamonds in diffused lighting. Okay. Now, when we switch over to spotlighting, you're going to notice that this diamond looks pretty darn good in spotlighting. And the truth be told, when a diamond's pavilion facets are functioning effectively like mirrors, and we look at them in the spotlighting environment, they can produce great fire. Even when brightness and contrast suffer, fire can still be excellent. All right. So is it possible for a diamond to have great fire and sparkle and not so good brightness and contrast? The answer to that is yes. Now, we're going to move on to another diamond. Okay, this diamond has a little better optical design. Also, solid red and blacks on the pavilion, you know, so all the facets are effectively functioning like mirrors. Okay, but here's another diamond that takes a hit in brightness and in contrast in the AGS system and in the GIA system. Okay. So red reflectors, see, you can look at a diamond under this tool and say, wow, this looks great, and it still not be a visually stunning diamond in all lighting environments. All right, people will take diamonds like this, sometimes they'll bring them outside into diffused lighting and say, you know, why does this diamond look dark? Well, it's reflecting back too much head and body shadow within the diamond. We're going to do a little bit more critical examination of these other kinds of things in our next video tutorial on the Aset. Okay, so here is an example. Now this next one's going to really shock you, I think, because look at that. This diamond has what a lot of people would consider a perfect red reflector image. Its optical symmetry is dead on. In fact, the symmetry and the craftsmanship of this diamond is on par with our signature Hearts and Arrows diamonds. So it is a top-of-the-line cut quality with regards to precision. And look at this, all the facets on the pavilion are effectively functioning like mirrors and reflecting light back out through the top. So what in the world would disqualify this from getting a GIA? This diamond doesn't make GIA excellent, okay? And some of these don't even make AGS ideal either. And this is going to sound odd, okay? Because you see how this diamond has reds going all the way out from edge to edge. So you think edge to edge light return, right? It's going to be the best optics, should be better optics than a Hearts and Arrows, right? No, it's not necessarily the way the labs look at it. And it has to do with not just the facets on the pavilion reflecting light back to the eye, but where the crown is drawing in its reflections from. Okay, so in any case, let me just kind of phase out on the screen and show you the visual differences. By the way, this feature that you see that's causing the solid red and black to go to the edges is a cutting characteristic that's called painting. Okay, and if there's a girdle cutting characteristics that fall in the way of either painting or something that it's also described as digging. By the way, there are two different cutting things for the girdle. It's in depth. We have articles on the subject on our website if you want to read about painting and digging. But they are cutting characteristics that will cause a diamond to not get a GIA excellent. But as we look at the two diamonds side by side, on the screen in diffused lighting, you can see more pronounced areas of darkness on the diamond that's painted. Okay. Now, there are people who've seen this kind of a diamond, because this is not a badly cut diamond. I don't want to give that impression that this is a badly cut diamond, because it's not. Some people see this and don't like it, and GIA's survey that they did, and in surveys that we've conducted, there were a lot of people that didn't prefer the painted diamond. Some people this doesn't bother, it doesn't, you know, and they don't care, but they do like the fact that it's a solid red image. We're not the ones to make that decision for you. But I will say this, a diamond that's going to qualify as a signature diamond in my inventory must meet the highest standards with regards to GIA and AGS. So because this diamond doesn't make a GIA excellent, it doesn't qualify as a signature diamond in our inventory. But so there's your visual differences in brightness and contrast. Here's your fire and sparkle now between this painted Hearts and Arrows diamond. It is a Hearts and Arrows diamond alongside of one of our signature Hearts and Arrow diamonds. Okay, so all right, now that we've looked at these three diamonds are excellent examples of why you can look at red reflector images alone and still not pick really what is deemed as GIA excellent, AGS ideal, or a diamond that they would deem as one with the highest optics. Okay, so we listen, when we're selling diamonds, we're going to provide this information for you. We're not going to dictate to you what you do and don't prefer. Some people say, you know something, even with these past three diamonds that we just looked at, or even the ones that leaked light, you know, if for some reason you prefer that appearance that departs, say, from our signature line, we can help you with that too. Okay, that's fine and dandy. You know, there's more of those on the market than there is the kind of diamonds that constitute our signature line. But these are three great examples of diamonds with great red reflector images, great ideal scope images and fire scope images and diam X-ray images, but don't quite make the top grades. All right, so thank you so much for watching this video. I'm sorry if I kept you a little longer than anticipated, and stay tuned on our next tutorial on the Aset, because I think we're going to be using the same exact diamonds in the Aset that'll help explain more, particularly with these last three diamonds that we just looked at. So thank you for watching, and stick with us coming.